And I think all of us should start drawing our comfort characters, or a character that we find comforting to us. So for me, it's this guy. I love his color palette. He's based off of he surrounds comfort, but he's literally a daydreamer, and he loves studying clouds. He loves painting. He loves baking. He loves natural calming activities. Usually that's what I associate a comforting character to be, like someone that you can draw when you're feeling anxious, worried, you're having a hard time, or you're having a bit of turmoil in your personal life. So first thing I wanted to talk about regarding comfort for yourself is, I say this a lot, but it's very important. Protecting your peace in situations where things get so chaotic, you literally have no idea what you're gonna do. Let's say you're in a risky situation where you miss your flight and you've done everything that you can to get to that flight, or maybe you were anxious about going, so you kind of went late, or there's so many issues that add up to that point and you end up not being able to take the flight. What do you do in this situation? Do you panic? Do you call somebody? Do you sit there and throw a fit? Which all the emotions are valid, so this is not to invalidate, but it's all about where you find your peace with something like this. What are you gonna do to move forward? And not even just with the plane situation. Let's say you're getting a ride and you miss your ride, or some moments, basically keeping your peace in moments of extreme turmoil or challenges that you face that you can battle them, but you can't fix them entirely in the moment rather. You can fix them in the future, but in the moment, how do you protect your peace, or how do you make peace with the situation so that you're not sacrificing your own humanity or your own joy or beating yourself up constantly? The resolution I can come to based off of my own personal experience, this is not to generalize anything. This is just something that I've learned throughout my life. If you're gonna make peace, you have to first accept the consequences and what just happened. Yes, it happened. It already happened. It's already there. It's in the past. There's nothing that you can do, but there is something that you can do moving forward. And that is to ask yourself, what can I do to progress? How can I make sure that this doesn't happen again? And how can I build resilience to a situation like this? And you're probably thinking, what does this have anything to do with art? But it actually does. It's just these are all personal things that I want to talk about with you guys, that it does relate to art, because art is mental health. Your art is coming from your mind. So at the end of the day, you do have to constantly keep your mental health in check, which is very, very hard, but if you keep it in check, it does affect your art. So everything that I'm talking about does somehow indirectly or directly affect your work. So for that, I would say, understand what it is that happened. What can I do to move forward? And how can I make peace? Whether that's breathing, whether that's calming down, whether that's doing what comforts you. So again, tying back to the idea of comfort. Before I start off with this next tip, I just wanted to say I apologize if what I'm saying is that doesn't make sense or it's all over the place. I scripted a little bit of it, but I mostly wanted to talk from the heart and just kind of express what's been going on. Stand up for yourself. And I struggle with this a lot. I still struggle with it to this day. Even going into adulthood, I still struggle with standing up for myself. But that means, again, it ties into peace. It ties into confrontation. It ties into self-actualization. It ties into things that you want to do for yourself. Self-initiation, things like that. Standing up for yourself means being the person you never got to be, or being the person that you want to be. Standing up for yourself, what does that look like to you? Does standing up for yourself mean confronting somebody that's making you upset? Does it, in the situation that you're going through, does it mean that? Does it mean dressing how you want to dress? Does it mean acting how you need to act in the moment, regardless of what other people think? Standing up for yourself, I think, means to me is standing up for what's right for you and what you think you should do. And I think the biggest thing that ties into this is to stop listening to what other people say and going on based off of what they said. And this is gonna sound minor, but I'm probably gonna bring this up a lot in future videos. If you stop listening, if you continue to listen to what other people say, that is going to affect everything that you do. I'm not saying don't ever take people's advice. I'm not saying don't listen to those that are maybe older than you, or just not even older than you, people that have good advice and they want to see you thrive, they want to see you get better, they want to see you succeed. I'm not saying don't listen to those people, but what I am saying is you have to listen to your spirit. That is the most important thing that you can listen to. No one knows yourself better than you do. And the older I get, the more I realize that. It's something that you don't really think about. You think about it, but you don't think about it a lot until you're in situations where you're forced to think about it, like a crisis or something like that. And it forces you to listen to your spirit. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Not what other people want to do, what you want to do, what's right for you. And you might have to consider any consequences, or you will have to consider consequences that come along with it. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, as long as you think thoroughly about a decision before you make it, or you make it based off of advice that you've collected, facts, in a combination with what you want to do, I think you'll be just fine. I think you're doing everything that you can possibly do, but you have to listen to your spirit. What do you want to do? And I know that sounds very, very metaphorical, or that might sound like super duper, like, what are you talking about, Key? What does this have to do with anything? But I really hope you understand what I'm saying when I say you have to listen to your inner voice, because at the end of the day, if you're always suppressing it, if you're always ignoring it, you're going to feel suffocated. And the key to not feel suffocated is to listen to it. And this is, again, not to make you feel upset or sad or, doubt you for not ever listening to your inner voice, but it's to get you in the habit of listening to it if you possibly can. And if it's negative, try to remind yourself of affirmations. I know a lot of people think affirmations are cheesy or they don't work, but they truly do. And if you keep telling yourself something, your brain will actually begin to understand and believe it. And even if it doesn't, because for a lot of us like me, it does take a lot of time, but it's not impossible to combat. It's not impossible to do. It does take time, but it's not impossible. So you have to stand up for yourself, and you have to listen to your inner spirit at the end of the day. In addition to advice from your parents, friends, considering it, thinking about it, especially if they're people of authority and they're in your life. Yes, obviously you want to think about the facts and all that stuff, but also making sure that you take into account your inner voice and what that means to you. I apologize for background noises. My water bottle falls and teeters a lot, so I'm in my closet recording these voice recordings, and it's super duper small. So if you hear weird sounds, that's probably what you're hearing. Okay. Anyway, on to the next one. When all is lost, as harsh as this may sound, sometimes you have to accept that. You have to accept that you've done everything that you could do. And even if you haven't done everything that you could do, you're in this situation now. And it's okay to be within your emotions. It's okay to have those feelings of emotional turmoil, of exhaust, of being hard on yourself. Let yourself feel those emotions in the moment, because if you don't, then you'll be suppressing them, and they'll show up later on in a way that you don't want them to show up in. So you let those emotions be present, because you don't want to keep them in. Same reason why I'm always I've gotten to the point where when I was younger, I was really embarrassed to do this, but if you're in a situation where you're going through a lot and you're in a public space, or you're just going through a lot, and you need to cry, sometimes there are spaces where it's okay. It's okay to just let it out, because if you are suppressing that, you are hiding yourself from an emotion that you really need to feel in the moment. Think about it. If you always suppress yourself from crying, and you always had that weird knot in your chest telling you, I really need to let this out, if you always have that, you're going to be uncomfortable. Your lungs are literally going to feel like they cannot breathe. And I hope you understand what I mean by this. It's such a thing that I feel like we really need to I'm not saying do this all the time. You can if you want to, but what I'm saying is allow yourself to feel those emotions. It's okay to hide it sometimes, but sometimes it's okay to just let it be free. It's okay to just let those emotions show, because you're still a human being. You're still human nature. You're still living in the universe. You're still a form of matter. You're gonna have feelings. You're gonna have emotions. So sometimes it's okay to just let those feelings show for a second, and try not to be hard on yourself. Don't be harder on yourself when these kinds of situations happen, like when a crisis happens, or something that you don't have control over happens, or something that you procrastinated on, you feel anxious about, or you just didn't do simply because of life things like mental health, work, whatever the case may be, and you never got to it and you dropped ball on it. Being harder on yourself is only going to intensify those feelings of shame, guilt, and burden. And you really don't want that if you're trying to move forward. It's not a good feeling, and you want to fortify strength, which means asking yourself questions, or not asking yourself questions, but the questions can be, what can I do now? How can I progress? How can I move forward? And building resistance and strength and changing how you view something will not only fortify you and your success, but it'll also fortify your spirit and it'll also fortify your character development. Setbacks do make you stronger. And I'm going to keep repeating this. Setbacks make you stronger. Setbacks are going to happen regardless of what happens. And that sounded like a repeated sentence, but I really hope you understand what I'm saying. Setbacks are going to make you stronger. Even if you don't think that they will, because it's something negative that happened, you learn from them. And honestly, you've heard this several times. I'm sure you've heard this multiple times. Mistakes are what make you human. Setbacks are what make you human. Things that you didn't plan are what make you human. Things that didn't go as planned are what make you human. Situations like these, a crisis, are going to make you stronger, but you have to build your own resilience, and you have to build your strength, and you have to kind of bloom outside of that. What can I do to make myself stronger? And not even make, and maybe you're not feeling confident, maybe you're not feeling that strength, maybe you're not feeling none of that, and that is okay, because I'm making this because these are the exact emotions I am feeling right now. I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying when I say all of these things, and I hope it's not coming out as just like syrup. It's just like, you know. I hope you understand what I'm saying when I'm saying these things, you know, because I am passionate about this, and I want to help people, because I have so many ideas, but it's hard for me to get them out all at once. So I'm trying to take my time with it. But I know this for sure I'm very passionate about. And I hope you guys understand what I mean. And I'll keep saying that because I really want to make sure it's been clarified. But yeah, how can you progress forward, and what does that look like to you, and how can you add that to your character development and hold on to that resilience and strength and build up that character that you want for yourself, and listening to your inner voice and building your inner comfort? How can I do these things so that I can move forward? How can I build my strength? And you may not be thinking about that in the moment, but maybe think about it afterwards, you know? But this is all just to help you guys. It's not to force you guys to do these things. That's never my intention. It's just experiences that I've had that I'm hoping can help other people based off of what I've learned. And so I think that's all I have for this. I apologize if I started to get like really, really loud. But I really wanted to get this off my chest, because I feel like, you know, the amount of stuff that I'm going through right now, I know that I'm not the only person going through this kind of stuff, and I want to be able to be someone that can help other people regardless of what my content is. Yes, it's art-based, but sometimes it might trail a little bit off of art, but at the same time, your art comes from your mind, and your mind is affected by external factors or internal factors at the end of the day, and that's very, very important to consider. And I just want to help in any way that I can, you know? So I'm gonna end this off by saying 4 major things. Draw your comfort character. Hone into that comfort and what that looks like for you. Make sure that your character development is based off of your inner voice and what you want for yourself, while still considering outside things. Still considering those and not being super duper oblivious or stubborn to those things, because I can be the same way too. But it's not hard to get past. You just have to learn. And standing up for yourself and finding what it is that you can do moving forward, and how you can build that strength and peace within yourself to move forward. And these are all easier said than done. They don't happen overnight, but as long as you work on them, you're doing what you can. And at the end of the day, that matters. And that's all I'm gonna say for this. If I missed something or it wasn't in the script, I might put it in the comments or in another video. Because again, this was mostly talking from the heart. It wasn't really super duper scripted, because it's just things that I wanted to talk about. And hopefully help you guys with anything if you're having the same challenges. Thank you so much. If you listened to this, if you got this far to the end, I really, really appreciate it. I'm hoping I helped you in some way, and I really, really appreciate you for listening to this or watching this when you were drawing or reading or eating or cooking. But with that, I just want to say thank you so much. I hope you guys have a good day, night, or evening, and take care. Bye.